Alright people, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make a Pillsbury Classic Yellow Moist Supreme Cake, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to walk you through making the cake, putting it in the oven, and then hopefully I'm going to make some homemade frosting with this thing. I don't know yet. Okay, so what they want is 3 eggs, 1/3 of a cup of oil, and 1 cup of water. So the first thing you want to do, alright, I want my voice to be so you can hear it. The first thing you want to do is you want to crack your eggs first. The reason you want to do that is that if you end up with shells in the bowl, then you're able to remove them before all the other stuff gets mixed in with it. Okay, so let me start and crack the eggs. Okay, so I've got the first egg. I just break them over a knife. It's a lot easier for me. Normally I don't throw stuff in the sink, but I'm doing a video, so... Alright, so I got 2 eggs in there, 3 eggs in there. I'm looking, there are no shells. Okay, that's the most important thing. Then what you want to do is you want to mix. I already measured it. I've got a cup of water here, so I'm just going to pour a cup of water in there. And then the next step is going to be putting 1/3 of a cup of oil in there. You can also use 1/3 of a cup of butter. That would work. Oil's not really the best thing for your body. It's not really too natural. But I don't want to screw with cutting butter up now, so I'm just going to take 1/3 of a cup, and I'm going to go pour this oil in here. Clear my throat. Okay, so we've got, yeah, that's close enough. 1/3 of a cup of oil. Got the oil in there, and then the next step after that is to put in the cake mix. Alright, let me get the knife, and I'll cut open the cake mix container, the bag, the sack. And this is pretty much all there is to baking a cake, really. Just throw all the junk in there that they want, usually water or milk, butter or oil, your cake mix, batter, and some eggs if they want that. Same for brownies. And then you put it on the mixer and mix it up. So I'm going to go pop this thing on the mixer right now and get it all mixed up. This is what, can you see that? Let me go show you what it is. That's what it looks like so far. So let me go mix it up right now and I'll continue. Alright, I'm using a mixer, an electric mixer that somebody gave me. Much easier, but if you don't have a mixer, just take a spatula, a fork, a spoon, something. Mix it up, make sure the batter on the side of the bowls is mixed up in there. There's no clumping on the bottom. You don't want batter on the bottom or on the sides. And then you're ready to get out your pan, grease it up, and put this in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to be making this in a 13x9 pan. Let's see, can you see this? Normally I use a sandwich bag and I put my hand in the sandwich bag, but I don't have a sandwich bag because I ran out. I'm too lazy to go to the store and buy it. So I'm going to use some shortening now, and I'm going to take the shortening and put it all over the sides. Probably don't have to do this, but I'm going to anyway. If you have a good pan that's Teflon coated, you probably don't need to do this, but I don't. Even though this is a non-stick pan, I do this anyway. It just makes things much easier to remove whatever you bake. Okay, so I've got a coating of shortening. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use butter, if you want to use that spray pan stuff, or whatever. Okay, so everything is completely coated now on the inside with shortening. And then what I'm going to do is put the shortening away, and then I'm going to get out my container of baking flour. I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Put the baking flour in there, and then what I will do is, you're not going to be able to see this in the video because I've got to shake this around, but let me shut this off and I'll show it to you in a minute. Alright, so you can see what I did is I just shook the pan around, and it's not 100% perfect, but there's a nice coating on there. The flour should make it a lot easier for me to remove the cake after it's cut. Okay, let me go put that in the sink. So what I'm going to do now, I've got the oven heating at 350 degrees, which is what they want you to bake it at. And then I take the batter, a little chunky, but I kept on turning it up, and I guess that's part of the batter. They have little chunks in there of something. I don't know what. So just use a spatula, and you scoop all this stuff into the pan, into the baking pan. You can bake this different ways. They have 13 by 9, and I think it said you can do it in an 8 by 9 or an 8 by 8, which makes it smaller and thicker. This is going to be in the 13 by 9. If this works out, this will be dessert for Thanksgiving tomorrow. And if it doesn't work out, then it will go straight into the garbage. Okay, so I'm going to finish putting this in the pan. And there you have it. The cake batter is in the pan. Tilt the pan a little bit, get the mixture to spread around, or use the spatula to do that. And now I'll put it in the oven at 350 and cook it for, I think, 35 minutes or so. And then next time I put on the camera, you're going to see a cake coming out of the oven that is completely baked. And I think what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to attempt for my first time to make powdered sugar, since I don't have any powdered sugar here. So that will be the next part of the video. And then I will continue with removing the cake from the oven, and then when it cools down, if the powdered sugar comes out and my frosting comes out, then I will frost the cake. Okay, what you're looking at is granulated sugar, and I am going to make some powdered sugar, attempt to make some powdered sugar to use in my, what do they call that, buttermilk frosting, or I think that's what it is. Powdered sugar is really just granulated sugar that you buy at the store mixed up. You can put it in a blender. You can put it in a Blendtec, which I'm going to try. You can put it in a food processor. They say that it's 1 cup is 1 cup. So 1 cup of granulated sugar is equivalent to 1 cup of powdered sugar. Some of the recipes say to put in like a teaspoon and a half, I think, of cornstarch. I think it said cornstarch. It says you don't have to, it's optional, but that's what they want you to do. I don't have any of that stuff, so I'm going to make it strictly with sugar. I'm going to measure out, I need 4.5 cups, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 1 cup of sugar, and I'm going to pop it into my Blendtec, and you can watch it as it does its thing, and scares my neighbors late at night, and we'll see if it works. So let me go measure out a cup of sugar. Alright, this is 1 cup of sugar. This is so gross, that's why I don't bake. It's so disgusting. I need 4.5 cups of this stuff to make the frosting. That doesn't include the amount of sugar that went into the batter, which is probably mostly sugar and flour. So I'm going to put, yeah, that's almost 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to go pop that in my blender right now. Okay, the part that sucks, that all bakers are usually aware of, but not me because I'm not a baker, is I thought I had a lot of sugar, but I only have 2 cups of sugar. And if I knew that, I could have just gone to the store and bought a box of confectioner sugar. But this will be a really good test to see if this even works. I'm going to have to wait till the cake finishes baking, and then I'm going to be heading out to the store, even though I don't want to. They're out there rioting and protesting over the Ferguson thing down in the ghetto right now. Luckily, I don't live by the ghetto. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this blender on, put the cover on there, and see what happens. I don't even know what setting to put this on. Let me just pulse this. I think I'm going to pulse it and see what happens. And we'll see if it makes any powdered sugar. If it does, then I'll go and buy some another bag of sugar. And if it doesn't, then I think I'll just buy the confectioner sugar and be done with it. So let's pulse this thing. I'm going to pulse it and see if it works. Oh my god, it's actually working. I can see it. This is freaky. Probably not something to be doing at 8 o'clock at night when my neighbor has a baby that's trying to sleep. Let me shake this up a little bit. And I think this is making powdered sugar. I'm freaked out. I wish this Blendtec was quieter. Even on pulse, listen to this noise. It's crazy. Yeah, if it works, then I think I'm just gonna do this tomorrow, so I don't disturb the kid. But let's see if it makes powdered sugar. All right, let me take this cover off. And let's see what this thing looks like. Can you see it? Yeah, I think you can see it in the video. Ooh, almost stuck a knife in my finger. All right, this could be really messy. Let's clean this off a little bit. Yeah, this is definitely messy. And find out if it worked or not. I'm freaked out. I'm amazed. That is powdered sugar. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Look at this. Oh my God. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I want to make the rest of it. I'm going to go down to the store and buy sugar, and I'm going to finish making powdered sugar with this thing. This is freaky. So that's how you make your own powdered sugar. Is you pop it in a blender. They say be really careful, because if you use it in a plastic blender like I am here, the granules, the granulated sugar will scratch the inside of the plastic and scuff it up a lot. But oh my God, that's powdered sugar. Totally freaked out over this. Just incredibilis. All right, so that's how you make powdered sugar. Let me get the rest of the sugar, and I'll continue with making the frosting. All right, first let me show you the cake. The cake is out of the oven, and it's cooled down, and it looks pretty awesome. And let me move the camera over to the other side. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I decided to modify the recipe based on some things that I saw, and I did have two. This is pretty incredible, as I was telling you before. This is homemade powdered sugar. This is homemade powdered sugar made from granulated sugar. I just put it in the blender, in my Blendtec, and I mixed it up, and it's awesome. I didn't have to rush to the store. As I told you, this recipe wanted 4.5 cups of sugar, which I really was not happy about. And people were saying that they made it with 2 cups because they were not happy with how sweet it was. So that's 4.5 cups down to 2 cups. This is 2 cups of powdered sugar. You can buy that in the store. God, this is so much nicer than buying it from the package already made. All right, so what do I need after this? I'm going to need, well, I really should not have done that first. Okay, so I'm a little backwards here. I'm going to need 1/2 cup of butter, and normally you want your butter to be soft enough so that you can mix it and make it blend with your other ingredients. Well, my butter's sitting in the fridge ice cold, so I can't really put it in here. I'm going to have to put it in a bowl and soften it, so I'll be back in a minute. Alright, just so you know, that's butter. That's 1/2 cup of butter. So you can imagine what's going on with this. All this, that's 2 cups of sugar, all of this fattening butter. The cake mix is mostly flour and sugar and salt. So that's why people are getting diabetes eating crap like this. But I got to make this for my holiday. So I'm going to take this hard stick of butter and let it sit out for a little bit and soften up. And then I'm going to mash it in a bowl so that it gets kind of creamy. And then after that, I'm going to mix my other ingredients, which I will tell you in a minute. Alright, so I've got this hard stick of butter. Really hard stick of butter. Because it just came out of the fridge. And it's going to need a few minutes to soften up. And then after it starts to soften up, I'll be able to mash this into a nice creamy consistency. And after that, I am going to mix it in with the 2 cups of powdered sugar that you just saw me make. And then there will be 2 more ingredients that I will put into this, and then I'll mix it all up, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Okay, this is going to take forever, and I don't have forever because I don't want to freak my neighbors out baking all night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the mixer that I used earlier to mix the batter. I'm going to be taking the 2 tablespoons of butter. I mean the 1 cup of butter, which you see here, that's the whole stick. I'm going to be putting the 1 cup of butter, half a cup of butter, what am I saying? Half a cup of butter, 1 stick of butter in the mixer. I'm going to mix this thing up until it gets creamy. After it gets to that point, I am going to add the 2 cups of powdered sugar that I made, or that you can buy. The recipe calls for 4.5 cups. I'm going to be using 2. So it's either going to taste really good or it's going to end up in the garbage. Okay, so that's 2 ingredients. The third ingredient is, you have an option here. I'm going to be putting in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Teaspoons, not tablespoon, teaspoon. Some people are putting in peanut butter, other people are putting in a peppermint flavor to give it a mint flavor, which really sounds kind of neat. A mint buttercream, I don't know how that would taste. And I don't even know how much extract to use, because that could be excessively strong if you don't mix it the right way. So I'm going to stick with the 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay, so that is 2 cups of powdered sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 stick or half a cup of butter, and then the final ingredient that they're using is 5 to 6 tablespoons, not a teaspoon, 5 to 6 tablespoons of milk. Some people said that it was too runny and watery and they didn't like that amount. Other people said they used 2 tablespoons. So you have an option here. You can use water, you can use milk. I don't have milk, so I'm going to be using a flavored Coffee Mate, which I think will just make it taste incredible. And I'm going to start off with 2 tablespoons, but you are to use enough milk to give it the proper consistency for a buttercream type frosting. So you want to stick with what I said. You want the half a cup of butter, 1 stick. I am going to do the 2 cups of powdered sugar, and no more. I'm not going to use the 4.5 cups. That's insane. I'm going to do the 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, so we'll have a nice vanilla flavor, hopefully. I might even use a little less, I'm not sure. And I'm going to use just enough milk or Coffee Mate or non-dairy creamer or water or some type of liquid to give it a good enough consistency without being watery. So I'm going to go get the bowl now and mix it all up, and you will see what it looks like in a minute. Alright, that's the nice disgusting butter on the mixing unit, which is making it creamy. It's kind of gross, but once I put the other ingredients in there, it's going to start to mix it properly and not clump up on the mixer. So that is what half a stick, why do I keep doing that, damn it? That is what half a cup of butter, 1 stick of butter looks like. It might be a lot easier for you if you just keep it out of the refrigerator for an hour or 2, so it's, or even an hour, so it's soft and you don't have to go through this big hassle. Okay, that is, I'll try to tighten this down. That's 3 tablespoons of, I'm using hazelnut Coffee Mate. That is, when I used 2, it was really dry, like really kind of gross. This looks much better. I know you want it to be creamy, but I'm kind of worried. This will spread really nice. You can see this will spread nice on a cake, on the cake. I think if I go with 4 tablespoons, it might be too watery and runny. 2 tablespoons was definitely not enough. This is a little gooey, a little pasty, but I think that's fine. Let me put my finger on here, down at the bottom, and taste this thing. That's damn good. Man, is that good. What I taste is I'm tasting the hazelnut from the Coffee Mate. I am really not tasting the vanilla from the vanilla extract, and that's okay with me because the hazelnut tastes incredible. So if you like hazelnut in your Coffee Mate, in your coffee, if you like using hazelnut or French vanilla, use that. I would use that instead of using milk. You're going to get a really nice flavor. But if you don't like that and you want to have something like a mint come out, then you probably just want to use milk so that the hazelnut doesn't overpower it. I'm going to go frost this cake now. I'm really excited about this. The consistency looks very good. It kind of looks almost too thick, like I'm like glue for wallpaper. But I don't know. I think when I knife this on the cake, I think it's going to come out really nice. It's going to be a nice thick batter, and it's going to taste good and creamy. So, all right, time to frost this thing. There's not really a lot here. Let me see if I can get you a good view. There's not a lot here, and that, come to think of it, the original recipe was 4.5 cups of powdered sugar, and that's probably why they're using 5 tablespoons of the milk. And since I cut it down to 2 cups of powdered sugar, I only need like 2.5 tablespoons of the liquid. So that makes a lot of sense. I'm just going to leave it at that. Time to frost the cake, and you'll see it in a couple seconds. Alright, there it is. I think I'm going to have enough frosting. You know, when you make something like this, you're never really sure if you have enough. Maybe the idea is to use, I'll see how much I have. Next time I might go with 3 cups of sugar. Maybe, I'll see. But I might go with 3 cups of sugar, and the recipe could have been for a double cake or a double layer. And by cutting back like I did, it limits how much you make, or it makes. So I'm going to find out in a minute if this is enough, but if you're worried about not having enough, you might want to go with, or if you want to have a really thick frosting, which I don't, you might want to go with 3 cups of powdered, there's going to be a lot here. You might want to go with 3 cups of powdered sugar instead. And then whatever you don't need, you can throw away. And if you're going to do the consistency is really nice. Like I said, I used 2 cups of powdered sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 3 tablespoons of hazelnut store brand Coffee Mate, non-dairy creamer, and whoa, that's a lot. What did I leave out? And I guess I covered all of it. The milk, the vanilla, the sugar. What else am I leaving out? I'm leaving something out. My brain's half asleep. I'm really tired right now. Sugar, milk. Okay, hold on. Let me shut this off because I can't think. Wow, I had to look at the instructions. That's how tired I am. Okay, and the 1/2 cup of butter. I got it right. 1/2 cup of butter, 1 stick. Okay, so there's a lot of frosting left over in here. So I'm just going to scoop up a big batch of this right now and put this down here. But it looks like I've got enough to do a 13 by 9 cake without a problem. More frosting makes it much easier to spread right now. I was struggling spreading it when I didn't have enough on the cake. So it's much easier when there's more, and it spreads a lot easier. Oh my god, I have a mouthful of frosting. This stuff tastes so darn good. Unbelievable. And why does it taste good? It tastes good because of the hazelnut flavor that I mixed in here. I know if it's all sugar. Man, is that damn good. Oh, it's so good. Okay, let me zoom out. Show you what the cake looks like. That's the cake. That is the cake. So you saw me use a store-bought cake mix, and you saw me mix the oh wow, that's sweet. It's so good. I would definitely not use more sugar at all. 2 cups is more than enough. Hold on, let me show you. I want to show you how much is left over. That's how much is left over. Not a lot. There's enough. There's enough if I wanted more, but there's so many calories in this thing, so I really don't want to put on more than I need to. Like you would find in a bakery, they would put all of this on there and have it nice and creamy, and nah, I don't want to do that. Alright, so that's how you bake a cake and make your own frosting and then impress people. And believe me, with this hazelnut in here, this thing is going to be amazing. I also made gelato and ice cream hot fudge pies, frozen hot fudge pies that I'll be bringing to the dinner tomorrow. And I have a feeling that after everybody is stuffed with the turkey and the stuffing, and then they see the cake and the 2 pies, they're going to overeat and get tummy aches. They're gonna feel it. But this stuff is awesome. All right, hopefully you learned something, and make sure you watch all my other videos. Do the subscribing and all that stuff everyone wants you to do, so that I can go out and buy a house one day. Thanks.